into Inside Viking Sports. We finally get back to Quaker Steak and Lube here on a Wednesday, and more of Inside Viking Sports for an hour right here on ESPN Tri Cities. Looking forward to tonight. Really looked forward to getting back down here. It's been 3 weeks since we've been here, and so it's feels like old home again. Glad to be back here, and for us, it's a huge coming on for everything's getting ready for the conference championships and district championships and all that stuff for all the Lady Vikings and Vikings. We'll be talking about that. Spring football is underway at Tennessee High School, so we'll be talking football also, and then a lot of tennis and Lady Viking tennis and Viking tennis with the head coach of the Vikings, Reedy Tony, and of course the head coach of the Viking football team, Mike Mays, will be here around 5:30. But it's great to get back to Quaker Steak and Lube. It's a Wednesday. You know, they do boneless wings starting at 8 o'clock at a reduced rate, and so that'll be the boneless wings there, and also the Thunderbird steak is on special as well here at Quaker Steak and Lube on Wednesday. So come on down, be a part of the show. Great crowd gathering around all in here, also outside too. It is too pretty a day to be in if you could help it, but it doesn't. The forecast doesn't look good coming up for the weekend. However, it's supposed to get cooler and a little wetter again. So. But Wednesday night is a special night here at Quaker Steak and Lube. Again, boneless wings at a reduced price. You get 6 of those at 60 cents a piece, and then also the Thunderbird steak also on sale here on Wednesdays, and you get that with 2 sides. Also, a brand new menu is out now. Of course, they have the old standbys, the hamburgers, the ribs, tacos, and they do have fish tacos and regular tacos now. A lot of different salads on there because they reamped the macaroni and macaroni bowl here with the chicken in it for a salad and as well. So just a lot of really good things going on here at Quaker Steak and Lube. You know, it's warming up, and so that means it's time to start having block parties here at Quaker Steak and Lube. And the first block party of the spring and summer will be tomorrow night, as we'll get started at 7 o'clock and go until 11 o'clock. There will also be music. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. But tomorrow night is the first block party. They'll be blocking off from State Street all the way out through down to Piedmont. And it is a great night to come in and see all the bikes that people bring in. There's a lot of people just visiting downtown Bristol and taking part of everything downtown Bristol. So come on down, be a part of that. Also, again, music tomorrow night out on the patio. It's going to be perfect. Should be perfect weather for it tomorrow. So we'll get some music in. And then Friday, Cinco de Mayo, and it'll be from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock as well. And there will be music outside again. So we're going to make a joyful noise for the next 3 nights with music out on the patio. It'll be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's time to start getting the live music out on the patio. And if you're familiar with Bristol, you know that there's a lot of live music in Bristol downtown. And so looking forward to getting the spring and summer concerts and music underway, especially here at Quaker Steak and Lube, as they'll be doing that every single night, Thursday, Friday, and especially Friday and Saturday nights through the summer and into the fall. So we'll keep everybody posted on who's going to be here and all that kind of stuff. But it is Wednesday, so it is time for Inside Viking Sports. As I said, we've got a lot to go over tonight, and it's district tournaments start this weekend for baseball, for softball, for tennis starts next week, soccer starts next week. So a lot of things going on, and we'll be talking about those, and then also again head coach of the Vikings football team, Mike Mays, with us around here around 5:30. Head coach Reedy Tony will be here with us here shortly, and as part of the show tonight. And so speaking of that, and speaking of Vance and things going on, the Vance golf team just left. They've come down for dinner tonight here at Quaker Steak and Lube. The Vance Viking golf team, the guys, finished second in the district tournament. They have qualified for the regionals in Morristown next week. So congratulations to the Vance Viking golf team, again, they will be in the regionals next week. The Lady Vikings, Vance Lady Vikings, finished first in the district, and they will also be in the regionals next week in Morristown. So, congratulations to both the Vance Lady Vikings and Vikings golf teams. They finished second for the guys, first for the Lady Vikings, and they will be in Morristown next week for the regionals. I also want to give a shout out to the Vance track team. Before we get into some get into Viking stuff, because these are the people that are going to be there at Tennessee High in the next couple of years. But a shout out to the Vance track team. Their relay team broke a school record, a conference record, and a district record in the 4x100 meter relay. And I'm hoping that we can get some information on those young men. And but they flat ran well. C.J. Manahan, the head coach for the Vance Vikings, and so congratulations to those guys and C.J. both for they've had an outstanding track team and really started putting one together a couple of years ago. They've starting to really pay off dividends. Also, a huge shout out to the Lady Vikings softball team and head coach David Boggs. The Lady Vikings finished their regular season at 17-3. They are conference champions and finished second in the district tournament down in Johnson City. They will finish the season again with a record of 16-3 overall. They finished 15-1 in conference play and was champions of the conference for the middle schools. And so coming off of those wins, they split with Liberty Bell. That was their only conference loss, but they completely swept everybody else. They swept Unicoi County. They swept Greenville. They split with Greenville, but they knocked off Ralston Robinson and John Sevier both a couple times, and had an outstanding season. They again split with Liberty Bell. Unicoi County, which is a strong traditional softball school and softball program at the high school level, let alone at the middle school. But the Vance Lady Vikings swept them as well this year. So again, a big shout out to that Vance Lady Vikings softball team over at Vance Middle School and the head coach of Vance Lady Vikings, David Boggs. I think that with them coming to Tennessee High and the freshman players that Courtney Caldwell has on the Lady Vikings team right now, they're going to be they've got some really good players coming into the program at Tennessee High, and they have some really good underclassmen at Tennessee High right now. Very, very young team at Tennessee High. But matter of fact, the Lady Vikings are hosting the University High Lady Bucks at the Lady Vikings softball complex. First game starting at 5 o'clock. So we should be able to get an update on at least on one of those games before we get started, or before we finish the show tonight. Again, it's a doubleheader for the Lady Vikings. Again, are hosting the University High Lady Bucks. And we'll let you know that we do not know who they'll be playing in the district tournament this weekend. However, they will be playing, more than likely, they're going to be playing Central or DB. It just depends on who gets the number 2 seed. The first place gets the automatic bye into the second round. But for the Lady Vikings, they're going to be playing either Central or DB. Both of those schools have double headers tonight. They're trying to get caught up just as like the baseball is. And so they really won't know until after tonight who they're going to be playing on Saturday in the district tournament. Viking soccer team, they won 3-1 last night at Sullivan Central, and so that secured them the number 3 spot in the district tournament. It also allows them to host Central at the Castle on Monday, and with a win, they would advance to the semifinals. So it's a lot of stuff going on with the Viking soccer team. They went through a little bit of a lull. They picked it up the last couple of weeks or so, and it's really paid off. I think you can see a huge difference the last couple games for the Viking tennis team and head coach Mark Quickle. The Viking track team or they'll be at the Tri-City Sports Relays in Kingsport this weekend. If you're looking for an individual that might be able to really do some stuff, it would be Chloe Yarn. Of course, Chloe going to UT Chattanooga to play soccer, but she's an outstanding track athlete as well. And Chloe won the 100 and the 200. She finished second in the 400, and the Lady Viking relay teams won two of the three relays. So, Lady Vikings track team is pretty stout right now, and they're doing really well with the way things are going. So, hopefully, they can pull off some wins this weekend, and we will see how things go with them. But the Lady Vikings again and the Vikings at the Tri-City Sports Relays in Kingsport this weekend, and we're looking for good things, especially out of the Lady Viking track team and head coach or Coach Brad Stubbs and that group and Barry Wade and got some really good people out there working that track team. So we'll get them all going and hopefully get some reports of good things happening this weekend. Viking baseball team picked up a doubleheader win the over the Happy Valley Warriors yesterday. They got off to a slow start in Game 1. They only picked up 2 hits but scored 6 runs. Of course, the Happy Valley Warriors picked up a couple of wins, or picked up a couple of errors, as what I was getting ready to say, and it really paid dividends for the Vikings. So they got off to a terrible start and finally picked up some runs, picked up 4 runs in the 3rd inning off of 2 base hits for the game, though. And Davis Hall picks up the win for the Vikings in Game 1. And then in the nightcap of Game 2, the the Vikings win 8-1 after winning 6-2 in the first game. So 8-1 over Happy Valley and 6-2 over Happy Valley. The Vikings are now 19-6 overall. They will finish 8-4 in the Big 7 Conference, and that will be that is the 3rd seed for the district tournament. The Hilltoppers and Dobbins Bennett had a coin flip. Instead of basing it off a run scored against runs against or whatever, I don't understand. They just go with a straight coin flip, and the DB Indians take the number 1 seed. So the Hilltoppers will be playing Volunteer on, matter of fact, Friday. They'll be playing it, we think, at 4 o'clock. If we're not mistaken, we think then. It'll be 4 o'clock for the Hilltoppers and the Volunteer Falcons, and then the Central Cougars and Tennessee High Vikings. At 6, the nightcap will be a 3-4 matchup, and that's David Crockett and Daniel Boone. They don't like each other. They have split throughout the season, as a matter of fact, so we don't have any idea what what will happen there. But it's the win. You have to win now, or you don't play. You're in a must-win situation with the Vikings. You have to, and the rest of the teams in the conference. Everybody has to win, with the exception of Dobbins Bennett. With them getting a 1 seed, they're automatically into the next round. The same thing with softball. But for the Vikings, again, they finished the regular season at 19-6. They had opportunities, we know, to probably pick up that 20th win before the regular season ended. They lost 3 games down at Morristown due to weather. They lost 2 FCA games due to weather, and a couple of other they canceled both the Johnson County games because they had to get the conference games in. So they lost a couple games there, and then Monday they were scheduled to play Virginia High at 7 o'clock. We know that there was rain during the day that was scheduled for 8:30 to 3 o'clock, and that's exactly what it did. Virginia High did not have their field covered, however, and so they didn't have the field covered, and that happens. And so, needless to say, they canceled that ball game with Virginia High. Virginia High canceled the game, said that they couldn't play, and I guess it's okay to practice on it, but it wasn't good enough to play, and I'll leave it at that. So the Vikings will finish their regular season at 19-6. Oh, and by the way, the JV team will not be playing Virginia High tomorrow night as well. Of course, the JV team is in a district tournament right now as well. So for the Vikings, they are 19-6 as we head into conference or the district tournament on Friday. We'll be playing the Sutherland Central Cougars at 6 o'clock at Daniel Boone, the district tournament held at Daniel Boone. We will let you know right now, however, if something happens, we get weathered out Friday or we get weathered out Saturday, we will be playing on Sunday. So we'll need to remind everybody of that right now, and that we are going to be we're going to be playing on Sunday. If we have weather, we will be playing on Sunday. That most of those games, if I'm not mistaken, they'll try to start them at 1 o'clock on Sunday if we have rain or weather situations Friday and Saturday. So that gets everybody caught up here on everything going on at Tennessee High with the Lady Vikings and also at Vance. Again, congratulations on a great season to the Vance Lady Vikings softball team. They finished 16-3 conference champions. And for the Lady Viking golf team, they finished first in the district. They will be going to the regionals in Morristown next week. The Viking tennis team, or the Viking golf team, finishes second in the district tournament, and they will be headed to the regionals in Morristown next week. So big congratulations to all those guys over at Vance Middle School and the head coach of the Lady Viking softball team, David Boggs. So we're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll be ready to talk to the head coach of the Viking and Lady Viking tennis teams, Reedy Tony. It's 60-cent bonus wing night here after 7 o'clock, at 8 o'clock. We'll be doing that, and then also it's Thunderbird Steak Night at reduced price. You get two sides with that. So a lot of things going on here at Quaker Steak and Lube. Remember, we'll get ready for Block Party tomorrow night, Cinco de Mayo on Friday, and Derby Days on Saturday, all right here at Quaker Steak and Lube. We're going to take a brief time out, come back, and it'll be the head coach of the Viking tennis program, Reedy Tony. You're listening to Inside Viking Sports on ESPN Tri-Cities. Back after this.
The Video Guy Live is a live streaming video service located in Bristol, Tennessee, and is owned by the video guy himself, Tim Flanagan. Tim has been making videos for local businesses and events for over 20 years, and recently started his live streaming video service where he has streamed everything from local sporting events, ribbon cuttings and grand openings, to music festivals, political debates, live open houses, and even a funeral. Using software that allows him to brand his live streams with logos, texts, titles, and even up to 4 cameras, along with streaming unique events like the Tri-Cities Bridal Show, Special Spaces Room Makeover Reveals, and a check presentation to the Sullivan County Humane Society from Walmart, plus his interacting with the viewers through the live Facebook chat. All this is what separates the video guy from his competition. Giving back to the community is important to the video guy. That's why he volunteers his services to Special Space of the Tri-Cities, a nonprofit organization that does room makeovers for sick and terminally ill kids. By recording and live streaming the room reveals, viewers feel like they are part of the experience. And more importantly, family members who live out of town can watch too. Some of the other community events he has done include a Time of Healing community prayer vigil, honoring our local police departments, the christening ceremony for the Bristol Hotel, and Bristol Saves Lives, which was a 4-hour event to raise awareness and funds for local police to carry naloxone, which is a drug used to counteract an opioid overdose. The Video Guy Live offers the Tri-Cities an innovative marketing service which is unique.
Bristol, it is Wednesday, and great to be back here again. It's been, I think, 3 weeks since I've been down here, and Missed all these people. We did come down Saturday. We had a family night here, or excuse me, Sunday, and so got to get back down and holler at some people, and hadn't seen them, a couple of them in a while, or in a couple of weeks. But things got rearranged for us. Of course, we had to take off and head to Charleston, South Carolina for a birth, and then we started to have to make up games on a couple of Wednesdays in a row. So it's just been screwy, and that's part of the weather with baseball, and you just have to do what you can do. So we are glad to be back here, and of course we'll hopefully we know right now this will be our home next year for Inside Viking Sports. We've already gotten all that cleared, and it's ready to go too. So great place to do show, and it's also a great place to come and have a meal and enjoy it, and they'll take care of you here. Just excellent wait staff, and everybody here just really nice, and to take care of you and have a really good meal. And again, they have changed the menu up, so there's a couple of fish items on there now. Of course, the steaks or the ribs. New tacos. There's fish tacos. They brought some old stuff back, brought it back, and their hamburgers are excellent. Of course, again, if it's Wednesday, we do boneless, skinless chicken tonight, wings, and also the Thunderbird steak is on sale on Wednesday. And then, of course, tomorrow we will have our first block party of the season. It'll go from State Street. We close off from Piedmont from State all the way past the library, and there's tons of motorcycles down here, really nice and gorgeous motorcycles. So if you're not doing anything, come down. We'll have a live band here tomorrow night starting at 7 o'clock, and then on Thursday, and tomorrow is Thursday, on Friday it'll be Cinco de Mayo, and of course there'll be another band here on Friday, and then a lot of activities going on here at Quaker Steak and Lube for Cinco, and then on Saturday it'll be Derby Day here at Quaker Steak and Lube. So a lot of stuff going on next 3 days, and of course it'll continue through the spring and up in the summer and all the way into fall as we get ready for football season right here on ESPN Tri-Season. I do want to let everybody know, starting June the 1st, we will be moving our FM frequency to 98.1. That is set now. We're putting new antennas in, and we're also going to be putting new lines in. So it's going to be much better for our listeners. It'll be more clear, and we'll move up from 79.9 to 90. We'll be at 98.1 starting June the 1st. But that will be the only thing that changes. The old 1490 WOPI that's been covering Viking sports since 1952 will not change. And so everything else remains the same, but we just want to we'll keep putting it out there and reminding everybody June the 1st at 11 o'clock in the morning, we'll be going to 98.1 right here on ESPN Tri-Cities and your only voice, the Vikings. Well, without any further ado, and I do mean that, it is the head coach of the Lady Viking and Viking tennis program, Reedy Tony. And Reedy, thank you much. Congratulations on another Big 7 Conference championship for both your Lady Vikings and Vikings.
Thank you, David Dowell. Boy, you just start that grin, and I love to see it. You guys out there listening, you got to come down here. He started talking about those 60-cent wings. I thought he was going to talk about my appearance fees of 60 cents. But that big old grin he's got is worth coming in here and eating these wings. What a great place. And the outside is your stands all open and getting ready to go. And, boy, it just makes you want to get a big old cup of sweet tea and eat those wings. And that
we will.
Turbocharged Thunderbird steak, right?
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
And I loved when you mentioned in 1952, is that when?
It's the first time that WOPI started covering the Vikings.
Me and your buddy, that Preston guy over in Irwin.
Yeah.
I think he'll agree with me. That's a pretty good year. He and I both were born then, I'm pretty sure, so it rung a bell too. I think it puts me about...
I think his birthday's next Friday, if I'm not mistaken, is what he told me.
Who cares?
Yeah, I know.
No,
I'll
just
tell
kidding.
him that. Oh,
Yeah.
Listen, I'll see him again. I'll tell him.
On the air, tell him we were talking about him.
I will.
Dave, I know you will. Boy. All right, guys, this is fun stuff. I don't want to even talk about football right now. Let's get through spring sports, but I'm a football fanatic. I've become a Tennessee football fan because of coverage they do up here through ESPN, and Mike Mays and his entire staff. Just grown to love those guys, and let's get through another month or two. Matter of fact, I'd like to go watch them end up practice, but Mike's going to join us.
He
Coach
will
Mays.
join us. Yep.
Good. I'll probably have to rip him a few times.
Well,
so,
that's why there's extra headsets out here
I know,
tonight.
because we'll
Yeah.
get after him. He's promised me again
We
this
are
year.
we're going to have us a time here, Freddie.
I love it. All right, now let me put a plug. Something we did yesterday before our last match. Thanks again for congratulating us. That's 4 years
Yes.
undefeated in conference play. Not 5 years, because we got our rumps beat first year I was up here. I hate to say we've lost 2 matches in 5 years now.
Yeah.
2 of them were to Science Hill, and then the second year we got beat then by DB, and then our big year in 14 was to beat DB and cause them to tie with us behind Science Hill, and then since then, that was a great victory.
Yes,
when we beat DB, and it killed them, because I just left from down there, and it killed them. They didn't have sole possession of 2. We co-tied, co-runners up. But we just finished something yesterday. It's pretty cool, and I wanted to shout out and give these guys, these grandpapas and grandmamas, another congrats. We started something called I started a thing called the Poppy Award. Mm-hmm. It's Doug Grubbs, who is the Henson boys' granddaddy.
Right.
And I know you've been to a lot of our tennis matches, and you've probably seen, we call him Poppy, it's their granddaddy. Mm-hmm. He travels wherever those young men got football.
Yes, he does.
He would travel if they were playing Scrabble, probably, and support.
I would agree.
He would support Tennessee High and his grandbaby. So we started an award, and I recognized 2 granddaddies up here yesterday, naming it the Poppy Award. That's Doug Grubbs. It'll be the annual Poppy Award. He got recognized, and then Michaela Warden, our lone senior young lady, her granddaddy and grandmama, I'm not for sure they may have missed 1 or 2 away matches.
Right.
But Grandpapa bring her in there in that truck, and he'll get out, get his chair fixed along with Michaela's mother, and get his wife all fixed in that truck. If it's cold, he gets her good and warm in there. If it's hot, he gets everything going, and then he comes and roots for us and pulls for his granddaughter. Right. And we recognized him. His name is Billy, his wife Patty Salyer. So it's something pretty cool, and I actually saw a few little tears here and there. So if anything, if we weren't as good as we were, I would still be doing a lot of this stuff.
Oh, I know that.
I really would, because these people need to be recognized, and the work that they do getting here,
right.
because they've got a lot of stuff to get arranged to come see the grandkids play. So just wanted to mention that.
They do, Reedy, and we were in meetings all morning today, getting ready for football season and a little bit of everything else, because it is that.
Yeah, it is. I know it is.
But we were talking about your all's tennis program and the number of people that come and watch you all play.
It's amazing.
Is enormous.
It's crazy.
And I know that the winning has a lot to do with it, but there's a lot of support there from the other athletes at Tennessee High. If they're not busy, they're there.
I can back you up on that. I think that goes back to, you've seen what a family we are, but I'll say we'll extend it. I think the majority of the sports teams are family-like.
I think so.
We go support them. I'll end up at a softball, baseball game, track meet, Coach Irvin, Stubbs, and so on, and then all of a sudden I look around and here's those teams supporting us.
Right.
Coach Mays brought a busload out last year when we played Bearden, or Farragut
last year. Yes,
so because he played down there, and I went, I'll whoop you too.
Yeah.
Because he played there, and he went, I don't care. And he said, well, Coach, go get him, because I'm not there now.
Right.
He said, go Vikings.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
It is. But again, Radford's still on for Saturday?
Saturday morning, young lady Vikings only.
Okay.
That's my mistake.
Okay.
The guy never told me. Their coach up there, I misunderstood. I thought he was coming. They were coming down to play Gate City overnight. They were going to spend the night, and wanted to know. Matter of fact, I met the coach in here, Quaker State, and that's been a month and a half or so ago, maybe close to 2 months. They were coming down here in the area to play, said, "Do you know anybody that would play?" And I said, "We will. I'd
Yeah.
love playing Saturday morning." So kind of a new school that we've never played, and I don't
Right.
think, I'm
Right.
not sure if any of the sporting teams have played
I wouldn't think
Radford.
so. No.
By the way, it's not Radford College. Everybody said, "You play
Oh,
that
well,
college?" No, no. All right, we'll
Austin
play 'em.
Hanson.
Yeah, Austin. Hey, if any Radford College out there tennis play, we'll play you.
Yeah.
The boys. But no, no, no. It's Radford High School, which would be maybe a pretty cool rivalry to go. The state versus state in the future. We'll see.
Right.
But get on out there in the morning. Start at 10:30, a little warm up, and 11 o'clock match
Started
with
at
the girls.
11. Okay.
Be pretty good. And also, I'll throw this out. There's a great little event that David Poole has put together. I think Tony Martino, teacher over at Vance, and she's been helping their tennis team practice a little bit. There's a I don't know if you've heard about this. I just kind of heard about it, but it's set. It's going to be a little middle school tournament for tennis.
They need to.
They are. It's this Saturday. So I think she told me today there's 60 some players from a number of schools around here. They'll be playing at Ida Stone Jones, and then some of the area. I think they're playing at King, but I think
Okay.
maybe around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the area. So you've got Tri-Cities players there, be middle school age, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's why we're going to keep getting better and better and better with those
you're right.
things. See me grinning here a little bit?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what we
you
got to
know,
have.
and I've told you this before, and I've had people ask me, said, where are, where are they getting these kids from? And I'm going like, they're homegrown kids. It's,
I don't think we've recruited anybody yet. I didn't
No.
say I wouldn't. Nope.
Right.
No, I didn't. No. I wouldn't. No.
No.
We haven't recruited. They're from
no.
here.
Yeah, they all are. So,
I've heard other different things about the football, but here's Coach Mays. Boy, I'm a happy guy now. I get tired of ribbing you all the time. And I can go over here
I
and
love
Mays.
it bothers me not. You know that. So,
No, because you'll jab right back at
Yes,
me, and
I
so
will.
will Coach Mays.
but, it's, you've got, I guess we've got, I'm trying to figure out, because of the way that, look at this.
That's hilarious.
Too bad you can't see that on.
Yeah, we'll hold it up. We'll hold this up on the microphone there, Reedy, so everybody can see
Hey,
it.
everybody out there in radio land, look at your old coach up here back in the day when he played. Woodward Tony, this was a student of mine. We hobbled to win. Beat the number one team in Virginia.
Yeah.
It's back in 1932, I think.
You played him in 1932 and you was born in 52.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Minus 20.
So you've been hobbling around all those years?
I've been hobbling.
That sounds like Common Core math, Reedy.
Hey, and when I grew up, 2 + 2 equaled whatever you wanted it to be.
Exactly right. Up at Fishery.
Fishery Tech is
Yep.
where I went. Richard Preston, our buddy, went to Elm Street, and we beat him every year in basketball. Had 9 players on the football team. I'll show you pictures of that sometime. 9 players. And Mike, I'll bet you sometime or another has had few players not in high school level, but someplace where he took the left side of the line, put it over on defense. Yep, shake. Half line, you have to.
Yeah.
Especially when you get 9 or 10 players, but we did that.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So what's next for you all? We start district tournament play.
Monday and Tuesday.
I don't know why I was going to ask it because, there is team competition for districts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Now
all.
we all are, our boys and girls,
Right.
are
Explain how
district-
this works. Yeah.
Years ago, sometime before I was even down at the other school.
Right.
Sometime they voted up here in the conference to not have a district tournament. You had your conference winners.
Right.
You automatically called District
Yeah.
1 champions.
Right.
Now, some other schools, which I just found out, this was done. Some other schools have the conference. They could be 9-0, 10-0, and go into this postseason tournament to qualify who advances, and you get beat.
Mm-hmm.
You've been 9-0 in the conference.
Right.
Ravenwood, who's been a rivalry of ours.
Right.
Brentwood has been a rivalry. Well, I like kicking them around.
Yeah.
We got kicked around with Ravenwood, but I like kicking Brentwood. Come to find out, we thought that Brentwood would be another team, their team we'd probably end up against.
Right.
Ravenwood just beat them. We won't even see Brentwood they're already out. And in
For
season,
this year?
yes, they're already out. So who we
Wow.
probably would end up playing, if we can get that far, would be Ravenwood, and Brentwood beat Ravenwood 8-1 in regular season. So they have
Just
that.
goes to show.
Oh, it's brutal though. I like winning conference and making you District 1 champs and go.
Hello, Kinsley. Uh,
You better say that.
yes, I better. See, yeah, I know that they did that a couple of years ago, and I had it written down, and I thought before I say district champions, I wanted to make sure that's the way that it still was. So we start tournament play next
Monday
week,
and
though.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
and that'll be at Liberty Bell over in Johnson City at Science Hill.
Why?
We do not host it. It moves around.
I know.
Shoot. I thought we had
That's
it
okay.
again.
It's fine. You can win down here just as easy as you could any place else.
I'm biased.
They play well.
I'm biased. I love our tennis facility
We've
here.
got the best tennis facilities in the area. If not in northeast Tennessee for sure.
One of the better ones in the
Yeah.
South. We're
Yeah.
good. It's
So,
great
but the
facility.
regionals are here, correct?
Region, yes, and section.
Yes.
Then we move on.
So, talk quickly
Yeah.
or some about the girls and the guys both. Again, they've had an outstanding season. I tell everybody that you're going to have to go search for people to play because nobody wants to play you. Basically,
Oh, they want to play us.
Yeah,
They want to play us now to get better.
right. Exactly. And that's the way it
they
should.
wanna play-
And it's the same thing for you all. You want to go play better competition so you get better.
That's
And
why
the
we want
reason
to play
you go to
Radford.
Deco. That's
I
the
wanna
reason you go to Deco
right.
Turf.
I want to play Radford College, not
Yeah.
Radford High School.
Right.
No, that's being no. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Our guys handle it. But let me say, last things you got, Coach Mays here. I get proud of the girls more and more and more. They've done something now 3 years in a row.
They have.
And they get shadowed a little bit. They're a little bit in the background, but now they've done something that I said last year. I think they tied maybe a school record by
Right.
winning conference and District 1 champs and moving on. Well, they've done it 3 years in a row now.
Exactly.
And then I start each year going, wow, we're going to really build and build. No, we've done it 3 years in a row.
Right.
So it's just, and they understand. The girls understand, but boy, they want to be a little pat on the back
Well,
too.
and it's like when we were talking, I guess after the first year, they got through that 3 years ago. I guess is when it was the first one they got. The whole thing is nobody expected them, and especially those people right down there about 20 miles from us, and it surprised them completely.
That gray team,
Yeah.
that maroon and gray
Yeah.
team that I'll kick around every time I get a chance to.
Yeah.
And Mike's agreeing with me.
Amen.
There you go, brother.
But they weren't expected to. They surprised everybody. Well, I think and we talked about this too. They kind of started feeding off the guys, and it's kind of like, well, why not us? And now they have done it 3 times.
The guys started that when we weren't too good.
Yeah.
All right, we said, but going into that first year, one state title, but the first year, we really weren't good at all. Okay?
Right.
And the next year, we said, why not us? Because we'd heard all this stuff
Right,
throughout
right.
the state. Started that. Well, the girls, they took it to heart.
I
Said
think they did.
they started it.
Right.
The chant amongst themselves, why not us? Well, they did it.
Yeah, and so they have won it for 3 straight years. This Big 7 Conference champions and district champions, and listen, and 1 senior on that team.
Girls.
Yes.
There's about 32 seniors on the boys' side, I think, out of 10. Now, everybody's senior, it seems like. No, there's
Right.
4 guys.
Right. But look what you've already got playing though, and coming back.
I understand. I'm still
it's
being
gonna be,
positive, but I hate these are my
I know.
first. These are the guys I started with.
Oh, I know, and it's going to be special.
Let me thank Coach Mays. Really, really big, coming from my heart. You ought to see him and he kind of brags. I know you use us to pump up your football team. Well, you use them. He's done amazing in the strength part for our team.
Oh, I know.
Oh, it's crazy how good. They brag on him. I brag on him. He's taken 5 or 6 of my guys the past 3 years. First year, no. They understood after you showed a couple of the guys the muscle you put on the 4 or 5 guys. Unbelievable. You made some of them look pretty strong. Well, they are strong.
They're
But
a
thanks.
tremendous group, and they work really hard, push each other.
Right.
That's a testament to Coach Tony. Developing those guys as leaders, and it doesn't matter if they have a game or not. They're on there and they're looking to get better. shows. I mean, their bodies have changed.
Right. Oh, and it's obvious.
My body's changed too, but I'm down to one ab. Used to have 6 back in high school and college. Now I'm down to 1.
But they really
Half
work
ab.
hard, and you know, they push each other, and that's the key.
Right.
Pushing each other. So.
Do you not see the guys getting along in there? The different sporting, the teams, and that's so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of support among each other.
I was bragging on you before you came in here too about
He
bringing.
was.
I really was about the Farragut game.
Yeah.
You brought everybody out there. And I don't care. I kicked your old school's butt too.
Hey, I wanted you to win.
I got close.
I mean,
I got a little tight there. I thought I may have to come out in a little fisticuff myself.
That was good. That was a great match.
We
It really was.
Got a little tight.
Yeah, it did. Too tight for comfort. But while I have both of you all here, I'm just going to bring it up now. Austin Henson, you both had a chance to coach him. He's one of the most, he's intense. He's very, very focused. I think he'd run through a buzzsaw, a wall, whatever, to do whatever he needed to do to win. He's just that type of person. You couldn't meet a nicer young man either. I love kidding with him when I see him, and I'll be out someplace and we'll end up, instead of saying hey, we end up talking for 15 minutes. But you've both had a chance to coach him. He's got an appointment to West Point. They're going to get a great student and a great student athlete. The two of you all have at it because you've both had him for 4 years.
Well, he's one of those kids. He's just a pleasure to coach. He's competitive. He's a good Christian kid, involved in a lot of things.
Absolutely.
He pushes his teammates. He's a tremendous leader. Austin works hard for himself, but he understands that giving to others and serving others and making other people better, and that's going to make him better, and he understands that, and that's rare these days. I mean, that's why he's going to West Point. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, he's got it figured out. So.
He does. Reedy told me, and I guess last year, if he spent as much time on the tennis court as he didn't know how good he can be on the tennis court. We know that he'd hit his mama on a football field. It's obvious,
He's a part-time. He's a tennis player during the season, and he absolutely loves football. He'd play the next 75 years if he could. But I've said a number of times, if he played year-round, which I'm kind of glad he didn't. I talked to his brother kind of into playing golf so he would get out of tennis. And I'm not for sure. Now, I'm a two-sport guy. I love two sports. I wish I could play 4 or 5. I think he makes them better. But in his case, he showed what a two-sport guy can do.
I just, I absolutely, I think he's, he got an award Saturday. You all were both with him in Johnson City, and that's, I guess, David Tolbert got one year before last, if I'm not mistaken. But.
It's based off a lot of things,
I know it is, but that shows.
Grades,
That's how well-rounded that Austin is, though. And like I said, I thoroughly enjoy getting to see him out someplace because he never changes.
That's right.
And he's just a great young man. That's all there is to it. Yeah, he really does. I see many great things happening for him. That's just all there is to it.
I can't think of another person I'd want representing our country.
Oh, I know.
In uniform. Just exactly what you.
I wouldn't mind being a foxhole with you and him.
You got that right.
With your arms, your legs, and everything, and my ab. Boy, we could go at it in there. You better be praying that they're in the foxhole with you and me.
Yeah, well, I know they would be. So, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll be back with more. We're going to be talking some Viking football with the head coach of the Vikings, Mike Mays, right here at Quaker Steak and Lube. It's Wednesday, 60-cent bonus wing night and Thunderbird Steaks right here at Quaker Steak and Lube. Back with more Inside Viking Sports right after this.
The Video Guy Live is a live streaming video service located in Bristol, Tennessee, and is owned by the video guy himself, Tim Flanagan. Tim has been making videos for local businesses and events for over 20 years, and recently started his live streaming video service where he has streamed everything from local sporting events, ribbon cuttings and grand openings to music festivals, political debates, live open houses, and even a funeral. Using software that allows him to brand his live streams with logos, texts, titles, and even up to 4 cameras, along with streaming unique events like the Tri-Cities Bridal Show, Special Spaces Room Makeover Reveals, and a check presentation to the Sullivan County Humane Society from Walmart, plus his interacting with the viewers through the live Facebook chat. All this is what separates the video guy from his competition. Giving back to the community is important to the video guy. That's why he volunteers his services to Special Space of the Tri-Cities, a nonprofit organization that does room makeovers for sick and terminally ill kids. By recording and live streaming the room reveals, viewers feel like they are part of the experience. And more importantly, family members who live out of town can watch too. Some of the other community events he has done include a Time of Healing community prayer vigil, honoring our local police departments, the christening ceremony for the Bristol Hotel, and Bristol Saves Lives, which was a 4-hour event to raise awareness and funds for local police to carry naloxone, which is a drug used to counteract an opioid overdose. The Video Guy Live offers the Tri-Cities an innovative marketing service which is unique and effective.
David Dowell with you, along with the head coach of the Lady Viking and Viking tennis team, Reedy Tony, and the head coach of the Viking football team, Mike Mays. Again, 60-cent bonus wing night here at Quaker Steak and Lube and Thunderbird Steaks. And I do want to remind everybody, and I forgot about this, but you can watch the show tonight on Facebook at 9 o'clock tonight.
I'm going to watch it again and see if I see Mays.
Yeah, do that. So we're going to, we will be on air on Facebook at 9 o'clock on Facebook, the show tonight with head coach Reedy Tony and head coach Mike Mays on Facebook. And big thanks to Tim Flanagan for taking care of us here and doing the show with us here at Quaker Steak and Lube again. A lot of things going on tomorrow. It will be the first block party of the season. They'll be closing off Piedmont from State Street out to the library. And then on Friday, Cinco de Mayo will be here. And then Saturday, Derby Day. And it's hard to believe that the horses will be running Saturday. It's already here. It's flown by, gotten up on us quickly. So a lot of things going on. It'll stay this way through spring and through the summer and all the way into the fall football season, and so we'll be all right here at Quaker Steak and Lube as much as possible, especially on every Wednesday night right here. So I do want to also remind everybody, starting June the 1st at 11 o'clock, that's 11 o'clock in the a.m., we will be moving from 97.9 to 98.1. It'll give everybody a clearer more clear listening audience for the audience, and we'll bump it up. We won't be having any problems with anybody else being in that same vicinity. It helps us out. It will help you all out for sure. We're putting in new antennas and lines here in the next couple of weeks, and June 1st at 11 a.m. in the morning we'll be going live to 98.1. So we'll keep reminding.
How far does that go out? Where can you pick it up?
We will be out probably exactly where we are now, but a little bit further. It will be more clear. So we should be a whole lot better off than what we are right now. That's our plan. So again, thanks to everybody for staying tuned with us. Again, we've been covering the Vikings here since 1952, and so the old WOPI 1490 AM will not change. So well, stay right there. Give out shout out to Lady Vikings. They lead the Lady Bucks of University High 1-0 as we go to the 5th. So so one more inning with Lady Vikings, and they can pick them up a win over University High. With me now, the head coach of the Tennessee High Vikings football team, Mike Mays, and Coach Mays started spring practice Monday. And Coach Mays, just the numbers. It looks like you've got a pretty good group out there, number wise, and I know you've got some missing too.
Yeah, we've got about 50 out there with about 10 missing. Kids are giving great effort. Third day of spring practice, already looking better. I'm real impressed with our line right now. We've
They're
got
pretty good size.
tremendously stronger and bigger in the off season. Everybody knows our skill players. Cortland's back in quarterback. Tan everybody's fighting him for that job. You got Cole McBrayer behind him, so we feel pretty confident there. Caden Mitchell, Gibby's back. A number of guys, Fouch has had a great spring so far. JT Scott at H-back and Van Valkenburg, and the coaching staff has done an excellent job of getting those guys in position and really keeping things a little more simple so we can play as fast as we can. Defensively, we got some starters back in the secondary. We're still trying to fill some holes on the defensive line, but I think our end play is going to get a little bit better. Of course, that's a big deal for us.
Right.
We've moved Wyatt Mullins to end, and he's looking pretty good. Darius moved back kind of inside in linebacker. Jeffrey has played a lot of reps at inside linebacker last year, is back. Number of linemen that's going to play both ways. I wouldn't say both ways, but they have an offense and defense position.
Right.
Looking for some more guys to step up so we don't have to dual play them as much.
Right.
But people like Isaac Trivett, Joe Maggard, Jay Collin. Jake is 6'5", 293 now. Stronger. Wyatt Mullins is just exceeded everybody's expectations in his work ethic. Just tremendous. Isaac Trivett, same. Blackwell's gotten bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
So some of those guys that we were hoping would step up last year are stepping up now.
Right. And they were what, sophomores? Yeah.
Yeah. We're still young.
Yeah.
We only have 10 or 11, 12 seniors.
Right.
So,
when I stopped the other day, and of course, all the line was together right there. I went, man alive, what a difference from last year. They look bigger. You can tell they are.
Yeah. It's amazing. If you put a good off season in, and let's just face it, we were challenged for size last year.
Right.
And we had some great kids playing in the line, but we were 190, 200 pounds. Now we got great kids playing in the line that are 240, 250.
Yeah.
So we're really encouraged about that. I spent a lot of my off season working on how we can develop leaders and leadership, accountability, things like that. And talked to Graham Clark and George Quarles about some things they do. We got a thing called Battle of the Clans right now. I had 9 seniors draft teams, anywhere from summer attendance to strength gains. We have Viking relays, just things they can get points for their team. There's an award to the top 4 teams at the end. So there's being accountable to each other, and that number 1 draft pick, everybody's wanting to be that guy. And,
yeah.
I chose the 9 seniors. They chose their 9 first-round draft picks. So that tells me that's the guy that we need to lean on, the senior and that guy.
Exactly.
We've kind of went over with the team. Hey, here's you guys. They ask you to do something, do it. And I also told those guys, don't ask them to do something if you're not doing it.
Right.
So, I think that is going to build, and that's really what we're, when I can graduate leaders every year, I know we're going to be successful on the field.
Right.
So that's what I spend a lot of my off season
Yeah.
doing.
Speaking of little Gibby, he is catching for the baseball team right now, and I'm gonna tell you something. He is he's fun to watch.
Well,
He really is. He's it was kind of like, I know with Coach Roberts, it was he and CJ Hess kind of splitting time. They made some changes in the infield and put Gibby behind the plate, and he's kind of grown in. He's had to, kind of a thing.
It's
hard. Amazing how he started adapting now. But he's that kind of an athlete, and he's gotten bigger. You can see it.
Yeah.
Of course, because I'm sitting behind him 95% of the time, I can tell he's bulked up and grown some and stuff. And I know we always thought, well, I wonder if he's going to grow any. And all of a sudden, he's kind of shooting up like Christian did.
What's great about him? He's in that class with a lot of those tennis players
Yeah,
too.
buddy.
So, and he's kind of taken to a new level. If somebody's cutting reps, that's his big word. He's going to call you out on it.
Yeah.
He's not going to let anybody. I don't care if they're a senior graduating. He don't let them cut reps in that class. So it's pretty funny. But he's an athlete. He's a competitor. I could give him a tennis racket, and Coach Tony is going to have him out there and being a player. You know,
Right.
because he wants to be good at
Oh, yeah.
whatever he does.
Right.
You know, that to me, that's the kind of kids you want.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
you've got
whatever they're
something
doing,
like
pick
that
up
now.
something. Hey, I want to be. I don't care if we're pitching quarters against the wall.
Right.
I won't beat your eyes out. And
Yeah.
that's the way Gibby is. You know.
And I
so.
think you've got some guys like that on that team now.
Yep.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. That they're a little more cohesive together. I think, and especially with you putting the teams together the way you did. I loved it when I saw it pop up, and I thought this is pretty neat. You know, and it was like their first draft pick. You know, and this team and that team, and I think it keeps them closer together for sure, like you were talking about. But it gives them a chance to bond
Yep.
as that group, and then as a team.
It's interesting, you know, to see the kids, those seniors pick, and you know, I gave them all a roster 3 weeks ago, and I said, investigate every kid. You got a question about them, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Because I know about 99.9% of what everybody does,
Right.
and their accountability, if they work hard. They asked me a bunch of questions, did a lot of investigating. You know, I took them out to dinner, and we had the draft, and it was interesting the way they saw certain kids, and what's good is they're on the same page as the coaches.
Yeah.
And they know who to pick. They know who
Right.
you know, and everybody's going to get one or two guys that they need to bring along.
Right.
But I told them that's why we're doing this.
Right.
So you can bring those guys along. I can only tell them and so many times, but if their peers tell them and want them to be accountable, you know, then that's
will
why
go.
we're doing it. We're trying to bring that group along, because you're always going to have this good group that does everything what they're supposed to do and work hard. It's this other group that's what's going to make you a good team.
That needs to be led.
You bring them on, and then they start to think, hey, I'm part of this. I'm accountable. I'm putting, you know, my effort and everything into what my team wants.
Yeah,
Then you
their name is on it, and they don't want that to get screwed up. Is what
Right.
that amounts to.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Yeah. Talk a little about what you got going out the next couple of weeks or so with practice. Are you going to do a bring back game or
no? Actually, Friday we haven't been live a lot.
Right.
Tomorrow we got another defensive day. We've kind of alternated offense and defense, so we
Right.
can really get some teaching in. Friday's kind of like we're going to swap a little paint with each other on Friday.
Right.
Monday,
They'll probably be ready for it by then too.
Monday, hopefully it works out. We're going to South, and we're going to practice with South.
Okay.
Not a lot of team scrimmage stuff, but we're going to do some individual stuff, some
Right.
inside stuff, Pascal stuff, and then we'll come back, practice a few more days, and then Dobbins Bennett's going to come over Friday, hopefully, if they can get here early enough, because class night's Friday.
Oh yeah.
So I told Graham, you know, we got to be done by 5:30.
Don't point over here when you mention DB.
I'm saying Graham because he's your best friend.
I know.
But,
You mentioned Graham talking to him a few minutes ago. He said, I got to talk. When did you get to talk to him? You don't get to talk to him. He does all the talking.
right. And he was talking today now.
Was he?
Yeah.
Good.
So
You think I talk a lot, man. I'm not even close.
if we can't work him out getting over there Friday early
Right.
enough, we may move it to Thursday.
Okay.
We
So
want to be in the castle.
following week,
We
right.
want to be in the castle, of course. So it's all dictated on how soccer does.
Right.
And I hope they go far.
Let's hope you don't get to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
No. Well,
but,
they will. Yeah, and they will be home Monday.
What will you do with them, with DB? Another similar practice like you do in South?
Hopefully
or
we'll do
just
some
curious?
inside. You know, let the front work a little bit, while the defensive backs and receivers do a little one-on-one, and then flip it. You know, let us do a lot of offense and them do defense one-on-ones. Get in a pass scale situation where they're throwing against our pass scale,
Yeah.
like a 7-on-7 deal.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you.
Flip it while the linemen are doing one-on-one pass rush, board drill. You know, just competing against somebody else on the other team.
Right.
And then hopefully get a little bit of scrimmage time at the end. You know, I'm not a big beating and banger guy in the spring.
Right.
I want to see kids play, but
It's a learning.
You can tell
This
after a little
teaching
bit
right
who's
now.
going to play
Yeah.
and who can't
Right.
play. And
Yeah,
know.
but you were a beat banger guy in college when you played.
Hey, I was a bean banger with no pads on, but I mean they had to slow me down. They're like mates. But
Don't let him hurt anybody.
that's why
him
I
off.
play. That's why I played though. I mean,
Absolutely.
I didn't play what I looked like in pads or for the glory. I mean, I like to hit, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. So You know, that's what lured me to football and wrestling. You know,
Reminds me of my marriage.
I got to grab people and throw them down in wrestling. You know? So,
I ain't going
but
there.
hopefully we get that in Thursday or Friday. It'll be a good little deal. After that, we've got a team picnic at White Fork Ranch, and that's when our attendance starts with our Battle of the Clans.
Okay.
So that moving forward, our competitions will be in June. We got a bowling competition, putt-putt competition, cornhole competition.
Yeah.
Of course, the big major things are attendance and go-kart sales and strength improvements, things like that. So,
Guys, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We got to cut out of
It's fine,
here.
isn't it?
No
Yeah. Stay tuned right now because there's going to be a short break in there for then it'll be Scott Gray coming up with his show, as it'll be Sports Magazine with Scott Gray from 6 o'clock or right at about 6:05 until 8 o'clock right here on ESPN Tri-Cities. Big thanks to Reedy, Tony, and the head coach Mike Mays, the head coach of the Vikings and Lady Vikings and Viking football team. We will be with you Friday at 6 o'clock. It'll be Viking baseball taking on Central Cougars at 6 o'clock. Be on air at 5:45 right here on ESPN Tri-Cities. Big thanks to everybody. And as always, go Vikings and Lady Vikings. Good night, everybody.
The Video Guy Live is a live streaming video service located in Bristol, Tennessee, and is owned by the video guy himself, Tim Flanagan. Tim has been making videos for local businesses and events for over 20 years, and recently started his live streaming video service where he has streamed everything from local sporting events, ribbon cuttings and grand openings, to music festivals, political debates, live open houses, and even a funeral. Using software that allows him to brand his live streams with logos, texts, titles, and even up to 4 cameras, along with streaming unique events like the Tri-Cities Bridal Show, Special Spaces Room Makeover Reveals, and a check presentation to the Sullivan County Humane Society from Walmart, plus his interacting with the viewers through the live Facebook chat. All this is what separates the video guy from his competition. Giving back to the community is important to the video guy. That's why he volunteers his services to Special Space of the Tri-Cities, a nonprofit organization that does room makeovers for sick and terminally ill kids. By recording and live streaming the room reveals, viewers feel like they are part of the experience. And more importantly, family members who live out of town can watch too. Some of the other community events he has done include a Time of Healing community prayer vigil, honoring our local police departments, the christening ceremony for the Bristol Hotel, and Bristol Saves Lives, which was a 4-hour event to raise awareness and funds for local police to carry naloxone, which is a drug used to counteract an opioid overdose. The Video Guy Live offers the Tri-Cities an innovative marketing service which is unique and effective.